Hi all, welcome back to Sunshine in the City show. God bless you all. Did a live stream, didn't go that well. I wish you were there. Wish some of you were there and we talked politics like I wanted you to talk politics rather than what I dress, that kind of thing. Today I want to talk about scamming and media and how we got to be careful with media and social media today. Now, of course, social media is attacked. It's the only platform we can bring out news and present what we think is happening in the world with the little information that we know right now. And so you have to bear with us a little bit. And with me, I follow my comments and listen to my subscribers because you people are who I need. And probably lost 5-6 subscribers yesterday because I did the live stream, revealed more about me. And you don't want to know about me, you just need a presenter out there. I get it. Well, here I am today. And it is hard. It is hard to have a presentation when no guy's going to show up. Samar showed up. Lo showed up. My brother was in there. 3 people that I know of. So interact with me. And talk politics with me. Ask questions. So a lot of you, we're all on the same boat. We're trying to get media that we can trust. We're watching Christians follow Satanists. We're watching Christians follow Freemasons. We're watching Christians follow CIA guys. And we're kind of a little bit annoyed with it. And we're struggling to get 1,000. And we lose subs. And it's a tough world right now. It's a tough world to get your vlogs out there. And if anyone doesn't like you, they're going to remove you. So that's just the way we are. This is who we are, what we are. And media. So who are media? Who are the ones we could trust? Well, QAnon's okay. QAnon gives you military intelligence, what's happening in America. So I'm going to start with that because it's been a tough one. My only problem with it says it's locking up celebrities. I'd like to see the victims and I'd like to see these pedophiles that have been arrested. I have heard news articles where they've arrested rings, that kind of thing, but we're talking about the celebrities that QAnon has hinted at. It's hinted at that there are celebrities, and it's hinted at it a lot, and that things will be fixed up and COVID will be the excuse to lock up a lot of these rich elite people. Now, we saw a lot of rich elite people in ankle bracelets. It looked like Tom Hanks was in it. Looked like Ellen DeGeneres was in it. Looked like Oprah was in ankle bracelets. That's 3. Now, Oprah, she's had a bit of a black past, and she's related to Harvey, had a lot of brought clients to the guy, and he'd been done for pedophilia, that kind of thing. Then she dated a guy in Brazil, same kind of thing. He was doing stuff with girls, and Oprah's a bit dodgy. Then you got Ellen DeGeneres. She had something to do with Las Vegas. Her machines were in there, and then when the shooting happened, those shooters, the security shooters, came to her and then they disappeared. And so it was dodgy. And here she is, she's in ankle bracelets, but she's back at work. Tom Hanks in ankle bracelets disappeared for 6 to 7 months and he's back at work. So it's kind of, well, make it 5 months. He's been disappeared for 5 months now. He's back at work in Australia doing an Elvis thing. And he's been seen in the mall and there's been looks like him walking around, that kind of thing. So, we have this deception that from QAnon that these people will be locked up, but yet they haven't been. And so I have a problem with it. And I think QAnon's credibility could be a bit tainted right now. Then we go for Israeli Live. Relatively good show. Relatively good. I had a problem right up. I mean, I learned a lot from him, Enoch Scrolls, that kind of thing. But then he was ignoring the flat earth side of the same scripture in Enoch 18, and he couldn't read the flat earth part of it, but he could look at the dry valley kind of thing where in the Seven Mountains, but he couldn't look at the other part of the same chapter, and he looked in a lot of depth, and he goes back into Hebrew and translates it, and now he's talking about asteroids coming in space from his friends in CIA who are also related to NASA, who oversee NASA and part of the program, because NASA goes right back to World War II when they employed Nazi scientists who then created a deception in 1969 with the moon landings, and this is why the Operation Paperclip's so important. Then we have Operation Mockingbird, where CIA oversees media, and so CNN, MSN, that kind of thing are compromised. Then we got Fox News. Tucker is not in chains. This guy tells the truth. Tucker is the best of the best. God bless Tucker. Hannity, a Christian guy, does his best. Then we've got Sky News, the old presenters on there. I don't know their names. They're very good guys. They put the new guy on, they put him into UFOs and everything and outer space nonsense. They put him in that. And you got to listen to the old guys in Sky News and forget this young guy and the nonsense. And they're looking at blue marbles. And, you know, with outer space, it's all made up. Because you go back to Elon Musk, go back to my previous videos, it would be a lot easier than me simply having to explain everything. But there is a deception in space, arms missing, wires and harnesses. That's probably all I need to say at this point. So Sky News is relatively good. News media in New Zealand, utter crap. Nonsense. Sometimes we get some good articles and stuff, or the Herald, sometimes. But generally everyone's an atheist. We buy our media, we buy the crap and we believe it. We don't judge it, we buy the information. And Australia are pretty much the same, except for Sky News. They're pretty much the same. Independent media, they seem to have all amalgamated into, like all our newspapers are amalgamated into these companies, and these companies are part of the system and part of the lying system. If you talk to an editor of a small paper, they'll tell you that there's certain stuff that they can't publish. And I know that because I've interviewed them. Anyway, moving along, we've got Avi in America. I forgot him. He's in Rebel News. So he is a guy you can trust, Avi. Rebel News, 100% trust, 110% trust. They do their best to get the information out there. If they ever got anything wrong, they did their best, and it was full-heartedly what they believed to be true. And that's the best I expect from media. We Are Change. I think Lou Podolsky does a really good job. And there's that other guy, I've forgotten his name, in New York. He lives relatively close to New York. He does a good job too. So I listen to both of those guys. I haven't been seeing the other guy too much. I've been seeing a lot of Luke. So I have to remember to tune into him, and I've forgotten his name because I haven't been seeing him that much. Milo, I think Milo did a relatively good job. Milo worked from his heart. And who else have we got out there? So we've got QAnon. Just trying to remember who they are all now. So we've got Russia Today. So Russia Today, they can be funny sometimes. Almost like they're doing things on purpose when they do space stuff. It looks like Thunderbirds a go! Because when you watched India go to space, because they're apparently the first ones went to the moon since 1969, 1971, or 1973, I think, thereabouts. Well, India have gone to the moon apparently, and then China did, with their low technology they somehow got there. And so they're kind of like giving them the thumbs up because USA with their nationalism program, nationalism versus globalism, are not giving the red go. And of course Trump's not going to lie about outer space. He's going to say we're going to do a Space Force. But I don't think Trump wants to physically let these companies lie. And, he's talked to them in outer space. He did talk to them, and they're talking about drinking their piss, drinking it, and that's how they drink water, is drinking that. He says, better you than me. What else could he say? What else? So that's a few good medias that we have right now. Israeli Live, I feel like they are compromised. Talked about it with Steve. But, you know, he did have some good content. He did have some very, very good content before. Just trying to think who else is out there. There was a guy from Canada, Steve. He got removed off YouTube. We've got We Are Change, demonetized. Louder with Crowder, very good, but they won't talk about outer space. And they won't put their brains there. And they're doing that to stay monetized, and I can understand it. Because that's just the way things are right now. Who would want that tinfoil hat? When you got a young, well, I'm not that young, but middle-aged vlogger, that kind of thing, well, we don't really care what people think anymore. It's got to that point where it doesn't matter if you like me or hate me. It doesn't matter if I lost 6 subscribers. At the end of the day, there's going to be somebody that likes my content. So there's going to be good with bad. There's going to be subscribers that hate a video. Fine. You can be a critic of me. You can be that critic. And so maybe I was tested yesterday if I was going to get back into that expat community and discuss expats. I don't want to discuss people and their problems. I'm discussing people who have big platforms and their problems that they're creating and the deception that they're creating to the Christian community. And in particular, we have a scam organisation with Charlie Ward, David Mahoney, and there's a bunch of other guys. And I don't know them too well. These are the 2 that I've focused on because they've been the central part of promoting the Antichrist of Joseph Gregory Harlett. Now this guy has gone underground. He's been very, very quiet. And as his sisters and mother had said, the guy has a problem. He was at Centrepoint and was possibly sexually abused, and it had damaged him mentally, and he got a lot out of being a king and that kind of thing, and being a contender for the English throne. So he came from New Zealand, fellow place, fellow Kiwi, and I feel sorry for him that he's disappeared, that he needed this, he needed to be, he's run off donations, that kind of thing. And I'm sure there are people that still feel sorry for him, still believe he's King of England and the Antichrist. There's been some young guys who've got on board and taken on Charlie Ward. There's going to be a guy tonight called Justice, and Charlie Ward will interview him. And we hope that goes well, Justice. If you're watching this today, I hope that goes well for you. It might have been easier if you got some boring old fart to take on Charlie, who's an old fart. You got 2 old farts together and talk about it, because we need to talk about the Freemason connection. Why does he talk to spiritualists promoting that when his son is talking about Jesus Christ in his introduction? Why are all his comment section full of God bless you people? Is that him on other accounts doing it and creating the comment section the way he wants it? And we got another guy called Sean Atwood, and it feels like his comment section is full of positive people. I can understand having a fan base that's very positive. And Sean's done a really good job on Prince Andrew and representing the victims. But of course, nothing's come of this so far. And exposing the Mossad spy ring of Israel and their connection to Epstein Island. So the Epstein Island is a big thing in this universe right now. It's a ring that we can say is true out there, that these people were in this sex cult ring. It was a blackmail ring. They were blackmailing politicians. Even today they've been like blackmailing those politicians, and those politicians don't want this information to get out. And there are people that are very prominent that are in that island, so we don't know who they are. It could be Al Gore. Al Gore came out on CNN recently and talking about Trump stealing mailboxes, which was not true. And this Al Gore is the one who started this climate change thing in the world. And I've heard his name mentioned on the Epstein connection, but whether or not it's true, nothing to back it up. His name was mentioned, and then it was scrubbed clean by YouTube and social media, because his name's not allowed to be used right now. Bill Clinton They've given a thumbs up for his name being used. Prince Andrew, thumbs up. So there are people that we're allowed to talk about, and there are people that we're not allowed to talk about. I haven't seen Al Gore's name on the list, the aircraft list, but apparently it's not an extensive list. I know in QAnon the list was published, and there are people that were on that list, like Tom Hanks was on the QAnon list. Ellen DeGeneres wasn't on it. Oprah, I think she was on it. And there are a lot of prominent actors on it. And a lot of people still don't know those actors that were on it, but a lot of them were on it. Meryl Streep, I don't know if she was on it, but I know that she was the one that was in that Satanist party, which the photos where they have the baby cakes and they cut into the baby cake. And that was really hard to watch that. And these are the parties that Hollywood are doing right now. And so we live in this deception right now. So we'll go back to Charlie Ward. I have a problem with Christians being fooled by Antichrist's characters right now. And this is an example of what can happen if we do set up an Antichrist right now. We're going to have hardcore Christian fans backing these guys up because they only have to mention God, only have to put a kid in the start of the video doing an intro and talking about Jesus. And then you've got Gregory Harlot saying that he is Jesus II. He is the Antichrist with the letter E. So he was saying E means true Christ. Then you Google it and it doesn't. It still means Antichrist. So you've got this deception going out. So I have a problem with Christians being fooled. You cannot rely on YouTube to clean this up. You have loyal fans that will make sure. Charlie started another channel. I haven't looked at it, but when you got on it, 12,000 people. So you can use this 171,000. Just bump on there and boom, he's away. And he can interview whoever he likes now because he's a well-known figure. And he would be called a public figure now because he promoted the Antichrist and got there. He was saying that, hey, I've just used this guy, gave him a sound out. I knew he wasn't real. This Charlie Ward came clean. And it's months of coming clean because this has been going on for months. Literally me and another guy, another vlogger who was commenting against Charlie Ward. I hadn't got on board yet and attacking the guy. We were going in Charlie Ward's channels and refuting everything they were saying, and the long white cloud, the Greg on the coins, because it was REG, and then the G came across and looked like you could make Greg if you were kind of like crazy about it, but it meant something else. And so Greg saw his name and just kind of like added that in. Talks about sleeping on a sword. And one lady said he was pulling the sword out of the stone like King Arthur kind of did. And it's interesting. And there's been some vloggers on there very big on this who haven't had the recognition that they would deserve. And you drop in my comment section and tell me what you've done with this Charlie Ward, David Mahoney and Joseph Gregory Harlot. And we've all done a bit of work on the job. There's a guy coordinating. He was my subscriber, M. Seeker, and you can look him up. He's very big on it. So he's coordinated this whole thing in a month and grew way past 2K subs. And he's done a better job graphic-wise, and just something I can't do. So all I can do is cover it with conversation. Anyway, thank you all. Thank you for subbing to my channel. Appreciate some more subs. I've lost 6. So if you can help me out and sponsor me with subs is all I need. I just need subs, get to 1K, and then I have some hope that one day that I can be somebody, can be up there with these vloggers who aren't representing truth, that are sponsored by CIA, are representing Freemasonry, and it feels like everyone is compromised. But I think there are some good men in the world. Tucker Carlson, amazing guy. And we can only hope that we build up our character and can be just as good as Tucker. Because that man is the pinnacle of a human being. Pinnacle of Jesus. Thank you all, and remember to support Assange journalist, to support the guy who's also like Jesus, a guy who wouldn't, the pinnacle of journalism, of freedom, Julian Assange. He is the man, and we need to pray for him. We need to pray for his soul and pray for his protection from the demonic powers. And there must be demonic powers that they can just kill Epstein like that. And these people that are dying, that are opposing leaders in America. There are assassins going out, literally killing people. And it's horrible to see. And we hope this gets fixed up. We hope that Trump can clean up that part of America. That he seems to be doing some good things in America. And if I was in America, I probably would vote him. It sounds terrible to my fans, but at the end of the day, he's done a lot of good things. You can only go on the actions of a man. For sure, he says he's fast-tracking the vaccine. Possibly it's a deep state game, 5D chess. We don't know. But if you had to choose between Biden and Trump, and that was your two options, for me, I'd go Trump. And he's protected Christianity a little bit. And that's all you can ask at this stage of the game, because religion is very important. And one thing he has done is represented religion. And so possibly the vaccines will come out, but at least in America you will have some choice of whether you can take it or not. With the left, the way they're going, and they're collecting mail fraud under that lady, Omar, I think is a pronunciation of this lady from Somalia, who's using Somalians into the community, stealing their ballots, going into old person's homes, stealing their empty ballots, paying them some money, $100 here, $200 there, taking their ballots and filling in everything as Democrats and filling them in so Omar gets back in. If that's going to be the new America of tomorrow, mail ballot fraud, then you're in a lot of trouble. Because Trump has tried to remove it. And if you're going to vote for this party, Democrats, and they're committing this mail fraud, you better to be voting Trump. You better to be voting him. Because already you're losing votes to mail fraud on the left. And if they're going to go that far, then you're in a lot of trouble. If you're going to have a government that's representing corruption, you're in a lot of trouble. And you got Joe Biden, his son, Hunter Biden. Ukraine. Bad guy. You've got to vote Trump. It's your only chance. Possibly, he's a bad guy. You can only go on the actions of a good guy. What he's doing, his actions are good. Actions are generally good. The only thing he's done that I think is bad is fast-tracking the vaccines. That could be fast-tracking science. Someone needs to get through to him. Sort of like Flintstones with the big hammer and the big mallet. Mate, these vaccines are wrong. So, God bless everybody. We can hope that the truth goes out there and do the best that we can in presenting truth, good or bad. We need to forget about our social interactions and who this person is. You need to focus more on truth and not who I am or you are. Just focus on the truth and discuss politics on my channel, please. So I want to be here and become somebody on this channel. I can only do it if I talk politics. Being me is not going to work. Thank you all. God bless. Love you.